27. The Queen of Sorrows and the Kingdom of the Divine Will. The hour of pain sounds. The Passion, a deicide, the weeping of all nature. The soul to its sorrowing mother. My dear sorrowful mother, today more than ever I feel the irresistible need to be near you. No, I will not leave your side so that I can be spectator of your bitter sorrows and ask you as your child the grace that you deposit in me, your pains and those of your Son Jesus, and even his very death, so that his death and your pains may give me the grace to make me die continually to my will, and over it make rise in me the life of the divine will. Lesson of the Queen of Sorrows. Dearest child, do not deny me your company in my so great bitterness. My divinity has already decreed the last day for my son down here. Already an apostle has betrayed him, giving him into the hands of the Jews to let him die. Already my dear son, giving into an excess of love and not wanting to leave his children, for whom with so much love he came to search upon the earth, leaves himself in the sacrament of the Eucharist, so that whoever wants him can possess him. Thus, the life of my son is about to end, and he is about to take flight into the celestial fatherland. O dear child, the divine fiat gave him to me, and I, in the divine fiat, received him. Now into the same fiat I make the consignment of him. My heart is torn to pieces. Immense seas of sorrows inundate me. I feel my life fainting away for the atrocious agony, but I could deny nothing to the divine fiat. Rather, I felt myself disposed to sacrifice him in the divine omnipotent volition. I felt such strength and virtue of it, that I was content to die rather than deny anything to the divine will. Now, my child, listen to me. My maternal heart was drowned in pains. Only the thought that my son, my God, my life should die is more than death for your mother. Yet I know that I must live. What torture, what agony, what profound rents were found in my heart, which as cutting swords passed through and through me. Yet, my child, it pains me to say it, but I must tell you, in these pains and deep rents, and in the pains of my beloved Son, there was your soul, your human will, which did not let itself be dominated by that of God. We covered it with pains, we embalmed it, fructified it with our suffering, so that it would be disposed to receive the life of the divine will. Ah, if the divine fiat would not have sustained me and continued its flow of infinite seas of light, of joys, of happiness alongside of the seas of my bitter sorrows, I would have died as many times for as many pains that my dear son suffered. Oh, how I agonized when for the last time he let me see him pale, with a death-like sadness upon his face, and with trembling voice, as if he wanted to break into sobs, said to me, "Mama, goodbye. Bless your son and give me the obedience to die. My and your divine fiat made me be conceived, and my and your divine fiat must let me die. Quickly, on dear mother, pronounce your fiat and say to me, I bless you, and I give you the obedience to die crucified. What the eternal volition wants, I also want." My child, what sudden pain transfixed my heart, yet I have to say it, because in us there did not exist forced pain, but all was voluntary, and so we both blessed one another, and giving one another that gaze that does not know how to detach itself from the object loved, my dear son, my sweet life, parted, and I, your sorrowing mother, left him, but the eye of my soul never lost sight of him. I followed him into the garden in his tremendous agony, and oh how my heart bled in seeing him abandoned by everyone and even by his most dear and trusted apostles. My child, abandonment of dear persons is one of the greatest sorrows for a human heart in the stormy hour of life, especially for my son, who had loved and blessed them so much, and who was in the act of giving his life for those same ones who now had abandoned him in the extreme hours of his life. Indeed, they ran away from him. What sorrow, what sorrow! And I, in seeing him sweat blood agonizing, I agonized at the same time, and I supported him in my maternal arms. I was inseparable from my son, his pains reflected in my heart, liquefied by sorrow and love, and I felt them more than if they were mine. I followed him this way all night. There was no pain nor accusation that they gave him, which did not resound in my heart. But at the break of dawn, not being able to go on any longer in this manner, accompanied by the disciple John, by the Magdalene, and by other pious women, I wanted to follow him step by step, from one tribunal to another, even corporally. My dearest child, I felt the shower of blows that they poured upon the nude body of my son. I heard the jokes, the satanic laughter, and the blows they made to his head while crowning him with thorns. I saw him when Pilate showed him to the people disfigured and unrecognizable. My ears were deafened in hearing, "Crucify him, crucify him." I saw him take up the cross upon his shoulders, breathless, exhausted, and I, not being able to bear it, hastened my steps to give him my last kiss and to wipe his face all bathed in blood. But nothing of the kind. For us there was no pity. The cruel soldiers pulled him away with ropes and made him fall. Dear child, what tearing pain I experienced in not being able to bring relief to the so many pains of my dear son. Therefore each pain opened a sea of sorrow in my transfixed heart. In the end I followed him to Calvary, where in the midst of unheard of pains and horrible contortions, he was crucified and raised on a cross. Only then was I allowed to be at the foot of the cross to receive him, to receive from his dying life the gift of all my children, and the right and seal of my maternity over all creations. In a little while, among unheard of agonies, he gave his last breath. All of nature dressed itself in mourning and wept over the death of its creator. The sun cried, becoming darkened, and withdrew in horror from the face of the earth. The earth cried with a strong trembling, opening up in various places in sorrow over the death of its creator. Everything cried, graves by opening, the dead by rising, and even the temple veil cried with sorrow by tearing itself. Everything lost its vitality and felt terror and astonishment. My child, your mother was petrified with sorrow, waiting to have him in her arms in order to enclose him in the tomb. Now listen to me in my intense sorrow. I want to speak to you with the pains of my son about the grave evils of your human will. Look at him in my sorrowing arms. How disfigured he is. It is the true portrait of the evils which the human will does to poor creatures. My dear son wanted to suffer so many pains in order to raise this will, fallen into the bottom of all miseries. And each pain of Jesus, each of my sorrows called it to rise up again into the divine will. So much was our love, that to place this human will in safety, we filled it with our pains, even to drowning it and enclosing it within the immense seas of my sorrows and of those of my beloved son. Therefore, in this day of grief for your sorrowful mother, who is all for you, give me in exchange your will into my hands, so that I may enclose it in the bleeding wounds of Jesus, as the most beautiful victory of his passion and death, and as triumph of my most bitter sorrows. The soul to its mother. Sorrowful mother, your words wound my heart, and I feel myself die in hearing it, that it was my rebellious will that made you suffer so much. Therefore I beg you to enclose it in the wounds of Jesus, to live by his pains and your most bitter sorrows. Little flower of the day. Today, to honor me, you will kiss the wounds of Jesus, making 5 acts of love, praying me that my sorrows may seal your will in the opening of his sacred side. Exclamation. Wounds of Jesus and sorrows of my mother, give me the grace of making my human will rise into the will of God.